935 K-Day, No at Night. And this right here, man, this is special to me for a couple reasons, man. One of my favorite rappers of all time. And not my first interview. My first interview was Bow Wow. That didn't go so well. But my second interview was this man right here. I'm talking about Young Jeezy in the building.
What it do, what it does, baby. We here in the flesh.
My bad. Is it Young Jeezy now or is it Jeezy now, right?
Yeah, the money grown now, so we got to drop the young.
I feel that. I feel that.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. So, Ecto, can you pass this to Jeezy real quick? So, my first interview was Bow Wow. That didn't go too good.
That's
but I was learning.
I need that for the gram.
This is February 2006 when Thug Motivation just dropped.
Right.
And you came, and it was very similar to this situation right here. You was grinding, you were on promo, and I was in the middle of fucking nowhere doing a radio show. And you came through and showed love.
For sure.
And it always stuck with me because I could tell, like, I know how the radio promo runs. You're doing press all day.
Yeah.
And it's like 11, 12 o'clock at night, and you still came through. Thank you for your assistance.
Yeah. That looked familiar, baby. I had the Scully on. I know I was grinding hard then.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
And the only reason I showed you that is because that was your first album.
Right.
That was my first radio job. And now we sit here tonight.
Right.
I'm doing radio in LA now. And you did so much to the rap game and the trap game that you're saying you're about to retire. We're on Thug Motivation 104.
Yes, sir. We're on 104. It's definitely the last installment of the Thug Motivation series for sure. Everything else I got to figure out. You know what I mean?
When you look back, how does it feel, man?
It feels good. I mean, if I had to base my life off the work that I've done so far, I'm satisfied. I'm happy. I contributed. I gave what I had to give. And if nobody ever heard from me again, I'm quite sure that, my words would be timeless. You know what I mean?
Right.
When I listen to Pac, his music, I feel like he's still with us. You know what I'm saying? Because of some of the things he said that still make sense to this day. And I feel like I gave my contribution. Like, Trap or Die will always make sense. Thug Motivation will always make sense. There will never be a time that it doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Unless, when they flying in cars, then we'd be Thug Motivating in the air.
And it inspired all of us, man. I was joking earlier with my coworkers, and I was like, yo, low-key, Jeezy was really like Gary V before Gary V.
Yeah.
He was like hip-hop's Gary V.
Yes, sir. Still am. You know what I mean? Or not even that, the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because when I did the Entrepreneur track with Gary V, and I walked in his office, immediately I felt his energy. And he felt mine. I just think when people have a gift to inspire, like, you feel it. You don't look at them and walk in the room and just feel like it's just normal. It feels like, okay, what do you got to say? And then when you open up your mouth and things come out, you're like, wow, 'cause that's a gift. Mm-hmm. Everybody don't run around with that. Some people hate to see people positive. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it's when you overcome adversity so many times, you understand that you have to have a positive outlook on things because whether it goes good or bad, you learn something.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you always born with that, like, hustler, entrepreneur mind state? Because now they call it entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And then, we used to call it hustling. We used to call it trap. Well, you were the first to call it
entrepreneur. Yeah.
One of the first.
Yeah, when I was young, like a kid, I always saw a bigger vision for everything. You know what I'm saying? Even when I was selling M&Ms in school, I was like, I'm going to take over the whole school. I'm selling Reese's Cups next week. You know what I'm saying? I just had that mentality. You know what I'm saying? How can I make it better? I never, sat around and just, waited for something to come to me. I always tried to figure out the next big thing.
Damn, that's crazy. So it's really it's like a DNA thing. Like, you're really, kind of born with that mentality.
Yeah, even now, my ninth studio album, and, I'm in the technology now. I acquired a cell phone company. Figures Wireless, as you can see.
Trap phones?
No, these real. Smartphones, Androids. This is an F3 model. Check us out at figureswireless.com. We got phones, earbuds, flat screen TVs, satellites in orbit. You know what I'm saying? I have my fitness water here, Defiance Fuel.
Yeah, Jeezy.
Which we're a part of that. As all y'all know, Avion Tequila, which I have ownership in that as well. Just it's so much in the pipeline, bro. Like, it goes on, but that's what you do it for. You
Right.
do one thing to be in a position to do everything else you want to do. That just because you're successful in music don't mean you're gonna spend all your bread on cars. Like you can spend on your bread to acquire companies and do other things. That's one thing I liked about Gary. He sees that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I walked in his room, he was just like, "Yo, you should buy Wheaties." I'm like,
yeah, well, when I heard the intro track to the new album, and I heard him on the intro, I was like, this makes perfect sense because...
But he said that. I never met him before in my life. His first words to me when I walked in the office, he's like, "Yo, you should buy Wheaties."
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like,
wow.
I never thought about that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny is Gary Vee was up here not too long ago, and he gave you your props.
Yeah.
He named you. He was like, nah, Jeezy's one of them ones. Like,
yeah.
So it's always a real recognized real, I feel
like. No, it's dope, man. It's that energy we got to spread. Especially now, you know, they need it. They need it. They got to have it.
Now, I feel like sometimes we revise history or we forget history. And I got to remind people that how instrumental you were for what we call trap music now.
Right.
Now, T.I. says he started trap music, and I do believe, you know, that he used that phrase first.
Right.
But I feel like the actual sound of trap music with the hi-hats and the drums the way they are, I feel like that had to be you, right?
I mean, for me, like, I wanted my music to sound different because at the time, everybody's music was either up-tempo, crunk, snap. I like slow, drawn-out gothic beats. And I was a part of making them in the process. So to me, I just wanted my own sound. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm from the South, so we came up on 808s and hi-hats. And I wanted to reestablish that because the music had got so big, and I wanted to slow things down so you felt it, like you felt like I was actually sitting in the car talking to you. I'm telling you this story. So for me, I was really trying to create my own space and carve my lane out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like to show you the difference between myself and anybody else that does what I do, because this is what Jeezy sound like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I just remember there was a point, and you know, crunk was popping.
Yeah,
but I just remember a point in time where everybody was like, Jeezy, Trap or Die, Jeezy. And this is even before you got signed to Def Jam.
Yeah, no, crunk.
And it was just like all of hip hop knew you were next.
Yeah, crunk was. I used to be in the club and they used to be playing crunk, and they used to be like, they'll never play your records in the club. And all that changed because it was so slow. I was like at a 72 BPM.
Yeah, that was before. That's what everything was like.
Crunk was like 125.
Yeah.
I was at like a 72. And I just defined the odds, but you know, my whole thing is I stuck to my guns. Like I didn't, you know, even now, you know, I look at myself like the Sinatra of the type of music I do, you know, the Sade of that.
Right.
So it's like I don't try to, you know, it's good to stay relevant, but then it's also good to, you know, stay true to your craft because it always comes back around at some point.
Right.
You know
well, and I think you're blessed in the sense that like you're one of those rappers. You got a distinct voice,
right,
and a distinct style that I feel like is timeless in itself.
Right. I mean, for me though, you know, your fans are gonna love it, but you know, it's different now because you look at the net, but then you can't get that confused with the streets, and that's how I won when I first came out.
Right.
People looked at the industry, but I had the streets, like the real people that was going through.
Oh, no, we knew. We knew. Is it true that when you first started rapping, you almost didn't want to tell nobody you were rapping? Like, you kind of embarrassed of it a little bit?
Yeah, I used to stand in the back of the Magic City because I was already cool. I had all the jewelry. I had all the swag. You know
so the
rapper
was probably looking at you like...
Yeah, but it's just like, what if she say she don't like it? What if they like, who's this corny guy? You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was a little times. And I remember I was riding, one of my homegirls was riding, and I was playing some of my music. She was like, who is that? That's hard. I was like, you know, turned up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, that's me. She's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. So, you know, just those moments where, and then it would be moments like when I'd be out in the club, like, and people didn't really know me until I did Trap or Die, because the music was buzzing, but, you know, my face wasn't out there.
Right.
And then it would be cats that walk up to me and be like, yo, I love your music, man, what you doing? And about 5 or 6 of those, I was like, who the hell is paying them to come tell me this? You know what I mean? Because it's people out of nowhere. You know, you feel like they're just telling you something. Yeah, you don't know if it's real or not. You know what I'm saying? Until you go do a show and like all of a sudden you got hundreds of people or thousands of people there, and you going, damn, like, okay, they really like the music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because before that, you just got people walking up to you. You're a street cat. You got people walking up to you in the club like, man, I love what you're doing. You just like, You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
You know?
Yeah, it's just crazy because like, and I also remember too, like back then, because we'd have the record reps come through. So shout out Noah Share. Back then, my boy Art was working with you,
Right.
and he was like, "There's this cat from Atlanta he's selling out the show." And he's opening for the headliners, but he's getting bigger crowds than the headliners. Like, they're singing all of his words, and then he played me Trap or Die. And,
Right.
man,
It's a rap, yeah.
that shit was crazy, Jeezy.
Yeah, Trap or Die was when the ties changed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's
What was the
when-
mind state making that? Because that's like a classic mixtape now.
Yeah, I was.
Well, all
I
three
just,
of them, but.
I just wanted to be heard. I mean, the whole thing was when you think you going to prison, you know what I'm saying, and you think you got limited time, you putting all your effort,
Right.
all your everything into it. Because I just wanted to be heard. I didn't care if I made any money. At that point, I was just like, if they listen to this and they love it, then I done what I had to do. Because you get that little buzz, and you just like, okay, they listening now. Now you got to go all the way in. Now you got to give them everything you got. And my whole thing was like, if I could just be heard, you know what I'm saying, like that'll be enough for me. So when they started hearing it, and you get that, like they say, you get that first taste of blood, you just like, oh, I could do this.
It gets a little bit addicted a little bit.
I could do this. This is what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Hey, you did it, man. This is my last, I guess, like classic Jeezy question. Iconic song, Go Crazy.
Right.
Off the first album. And I think it was important because I think a lot of people that weren't really, because people forget at the time, there were still a lot of purists that were like, oh, whenever there's a new sound, people aren't necessarily with it right away.
Right.
So I think the song that let people know that you were a real one was Go Crazy.
Yeah, but it's crazy because I heard that beat on a T.I. mixtape.
Oh,
and
wow.
I called Don Cannon, who produced it, and asked him, could he make me a beat like that? And he told me, he's like, yo, you can have that one. Tip just rapped on it. He didn't get the beat. And I was like, yo, send it to me. And I wrote the song on a plane, and I recorded it coming back from New York. When I got to Atlanta, I recorded it. And I remember just playing it for Def Jam. And this is when Jay-Z came over to be the president. And I was like, I'm going to get Jay-Z on this song. And I was in L.A., and one day Jay called me, come to his hotel room. I met him at his hotel room. We was sitting on the patio, just kicking it. He's like, I'm going to do the song, by the way. And it was like,
and that's when Jay wasn't doing verses for everybody. That's when he was retired.
And he gave me like 32 bars. You know what I'm saying?
Woo!
He gave me that. He gave me that Brooklyn Jay. You know what I'm saying?
Woo!
And but I knew it in my mind. I was like, I'm gonna get Jay-Z on this song.
Right.
And it happened. Yeah. So shouts out to Don Cannon for that.
Well, hey man, shout out Jeezy. I know
TM104 in stores right now.
Get that album.
Get that album. Get that Figures Wireless. Get that Defiance Fuel. Get all of it.
Get all of it.
Get all of it. Why
I'm
not?
already a Jeezy fan, but I like it because it's just, I feel like it's still Jeezy through and through, but it's a more wiser, more mature Jeezy, but not in like a whack way. Like,
right.
But I see what you did with the album, man, and I think it's great, man.
Love.
So make sure. Are you really gonna be retired?
We'll talk next time.
Somebody get a TM105.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is, man. Young Jeezy, No at Night, 935 K-Day. Thank you, man.
Love.